Okay, we're going to do a continuous suture now, which is nothing more than an uninterrupted simple stitch. It's like you would do if you were tacking up or hemming up a pair of pants. Again, when we load the needle into the needle holder, what part of the needle goes in what part of the needle holder? We're going to put the tips of the needle holder at the distal end or the proximal end of the needle 90 degrees or perpendicular to the needle holder. On this particular type of suture, we're going to start with a simple interrupted, but we're not going to cut it. So we're just going to make the loop under the skin like we did before. So now you know that there's one strand of suture underneath this initial stitch. We're going to anchor it here by tying it off as if it was a simple interrupted stitch. But without cutting it, we're going to continue the stitch in a continuous fashion. By coming over here and doing the same stitch again. Now, the part that confuses people is it actually looks like it is crisscross, but the suture itself is going straight across the wound, 90-degree perpendicular. So you have to keep in mind that from this point to this point is top suture, but the under suture is from this point to this point. So again, one more time, we go this way, 90 degrees, trying to keep it at a uniform distance and pulling it this way. Again, top suture here, but the bottom suture runs from here to here. The last one I'll put in is the one we'll anchor with to tie it off. Same process over again. But this time I'm going to leave myself a little bit of suture that I can use to tie with. And how do I place my scissors? The scissors should be placed minimally open, larger blade to the bottom, 90 degrees perpendicular, and then snip. This ensures that we don't take too much of the suture or cut anything more than we want to. All right, to remove a continuous stitch. Again, we got to realize that this first stitch is like a simple interrupted, which means there is suture underneath here. And the rule was we always grab the knot. And it's best if you can get your hook in so that you can hook this way, hook toward the outside. And we're going to snip this one strand. And we're going to pull this out this way. So that right there is the part that was underneath that initial stitch. Now I know that from here to here there is suture underneath the skin. So with this in hand, I'm going to snip and come over here and pull the suture that's from here to here out this way. Okay, the rule is we don't want to pull top suture through the wound, dragging any bacteria that might be on the suture through the wound and causing possible infection. Now I know from here to here is a suture. Some of this was all on top, so I don't want to draw it through. So again, I'm going to grab a hold of this loose end, pull it up and snip, and come over here and pull that part that was underneath the skin out. And then this last stitch is pretty much like a simple interrupted. Grab the knot, snip, and pull toward the wound. One thing that's paramount with your documentation is that you'll be required to count the number of sutures that came out during the procedure. The doctor knows he put in 3. We should essentially count 3 that we have taken out. That way we don't leave a stitch, which can obviously become infected if left in too long.